Hey guys, what is up? It's me again, back for another weekly vlog. So I'm having a bit of a moment here tonight because I am working on, really for a couple of reasons. I'm working on Ahsoka Tano from The Mandalorian Season 2 and actually starting to seriously approach the finish line for the entire Mandalorian Season 2 project. Some of my most detailed figures ever that I've, of course, been working on over the course of the year. But also because as I'm sitting here painting the legs on day 2 now, working on these legs for Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka, slightly complicated, time consuming, but going well. This report comes out from The Hollywood Reporter that Hayden Christensen will in fact be reprising his role as Anakin Skywalker in the Ahsoka series due out in 2023, and that means something that I don't think anyone thought was possible before Disney Plus is now officially confirmed to be happening. And I say officially because The Hollywood Reporter basically is official, and Rosario Dawson even posted about it herself on Instagram. So yes, officially. And listen, man, Anakin Skywalker, my favorite character of all time, but never did I once think that we would actually one day get to see not only Hayden Christensen return to Star Wars, as of course we got the confirmation for last year during Disney Investor Day, but that he would also one day be joining in a live action Ahsoka series, appearing as a Force ghost post Return of the Jedi in the Mando era. You know, maybe seeing him in the Vader suit through the broken mask in a reenactment of the animated duel from Rebels, or even more Clone Wars flashbacks in addition to the ones that are rumored to be in the Kenobi series. It's shocking. It just does not feel real. I see people talking about this, of course, all over Twitter today while I'm sitting here painting this very tedious pattern onto the custom Lego minifigures legs, and I'm like looking at my phone and people are posting that this is actually, and it's to come out of all those years that were just, you know, where we were so steeped in the sequel trilogy and, you know, before Disney Plus, where there was really no hope for any of this. It's just so surreal. The next 2.5 years for Star Wars, I think, are going to be just so special, and I can't wait. But anyway, I wanted to document this moment because I'm sitting here working on wrapping up my first ever custom for Ahsoka Tano's first ever live action appearance in The Mandalorian, while getting the news that Hayden Christensen will be returning in the live action Ahsoka series. Yeah.
Later, in the void.
All right, so it's been several days since that last clip now, but I am sitting here pretty much today now, about to go see DUNE in a few hours actually, but also at the end of the line for the Mandalorian Season 2 project, of course, not including actually putting together the big showcase, but finally at the end of all the required work to pull this off. And I've got everyone set up here, not really set up, they're actually all pretty scattered, but they're all here for the end, the final day pretty much. Like definitely later this afternoon, tonight, I will be pretty much done. And what pretty much done basically means is having finished the paintwork on the Beskar spear, and I'm also going to do a quick last minute paint job on Fennec Shan's helmet because Lego's standard orange ABS plastic color is just too bright and stands out way too much. So I'm gonna hit it with this and then a shade to kind of, you know, make it blend in a little bit better with all of the custom minifigures. So yeah, I finished Ahsoka, I finished Boba Fett, I finished the half customs for Axe Woes and Koska Reeves, and you've seen a lot of the work that I've been doing in bits and pieces. Mostly everyone over on Patreon has seen the bulk of the work, and by the time this vlog goes out, there will have already been sort of a final post for them, kind of, showing the last bit of the work and everybody together. And one last thing as well, I also painted up a whole new helmet for my 2020 Mandalorian custom. And that was done using a Cold Blood custom helmet. And any of you guys in the LEGO community here online or who pay attention over on Instagram, you'll know Cold Blood Customs. They are the ones who produced pretty much the best. I don't have an extra one on me, but they produced the best Lego Mandalorian accessories this community's ever seen, and you basically install them with micro magnets, at least the shoulders, and then the helmet was just perfect. I mean, perfect design, perfect chrome finish. And also, of course, everybody on Patreon has seen it, but it'll also be posted over on Instagram and Twitter potentially. I don't really know what the previews are going to look like, but I'll definitely be doing a Night Owls one for bo-katan and Axpos and Casca and all that stuff. And yeah, I'll be doing a couple series of photos kind of while I wait for my new monitor to come in. But I guess, one thing that I've sort of been thinking about as I finally come to a close on this project that in the end isn't much bigger than, well, for me, what used to be a regular showcase, right? And so it has me just kind of reflecting on the question of, was it really worth it to dedicate all of this time and effort and passion into this project? And I think so, because the Clone Wars is just still and always going to be such a huge part of me and is responsible for inspiring so much of who I am today and the creative interests that I developed over the course of a decade, that celebrating this season of streamed content from Disney Plus and for Star Wars, where in their live action series they brought Ahsoka Tano, bo-katan to the live action screen for the first time, brought Boba Fett back, and did all of this while naturally weaving it organically into this story where the Mandalorian is seeking out these bigger players in the galaxy. It was an incredible season, and I was playing some of it back to generate some inspiration for the video as I'm closing out the work here. And it was so incredible and so well put together. I rewatched the Cobb Vanth episode pretty recently on my TV, and I'm just like, oh my God. The Mandalorian Season 2 is one of the greatest parts of Star Wars, and it is worth celebrating, even if that is somehow a year later. All right, so it's the next day now, and I have seen Dune. What an incredible film. I've got some thoughts for you, but I hope you'll stick around because I did also finish the last bit of work on the Mandalorian Season 2 costumes last night. I am actually done now, and I also got a really cool 3D printed Venom set in from Benson Bones, so I hope you'll stick around for that. But it's just coming in as someone who is not familiar with the iconic story that first began in the 60s and has really, been iconic for a generation, actually going into this movie totally blind, not really having been aware of any of that or even having read a synopsis. I really haven't even seen the director's work enough. I only really actually saw Arrival and still have yet to see the Blade Runner movies, for example. And obviously he directed 2049, I never saw that. But Dune having been now one of the most anticipated movies of the year for a lot of people, I definitely had my expectations. I don't know if I want to say high, because I didn't really know what I was getting into story-wise. Ultimately, the story didn't really grab hold of me too much, but I was there for the visuals. I knew from Arrival and Blade Runner 2049 that I was definitely going to be in for something really special here with Dune. The trailers, even though I largely forgot them, made that pretty clear, and I at least remembered that. And sure enough, I mean, the direction of the film is just incredible. The cast are all amazing, and I think were just also immersed in their roles that they were pretty unrecognizable, and that especially goes for Javier Bardem, but just such a stacked cast that were just all so invested in each of their characters, which unfortunately you don't always get a lot of the time, which was really refreshing. But what I really appreciated the most about Dune is just how ambitious the movie is, and it's so bold and unapologetically creative in embracing its universe, in embracing its scope and its grand scale in this story set, 8,000 years in the future. It's wild. The costume design is wild. The set design is wild. The seamless VFX are just amazing. There are so many times watching, more movies and shows from Disney, for example, as much as I love the MCU and as much as I love Star Wars, literally the two halves that make up my being, right? It's always a little disheartening when you can see the limits of the effects, right? When you can see the edge of the volume and you can see where the screen begins, or when you can clearly see a really bad composite shot of a blue screen, while watching Shang-Chi, for example. It's things like that that really pull me out of a movie. But then I never really liked the radicalized version of that where you are so committed to practicality that you limit what's possible, that you limit what you can do, that you really just clip your own wings and limit what's possible. And that's a problem that I've had with Disney Star Wars for years now, as they moved away from what George Lucas began to set up with the world building of the prequels, for example. And I'm going into Star Wars for a second because I'm drawing the contrast here between Dune and Star Wars, because while watching it, I just kept thinking about it. Like, why can't we see in a galaxy as massive as Star Wars creativity like this, tonal shifts like this, costumes like this, cultures, worlds, and species like this, instead of having to go from one Earth-like planet to the next that never does enough to differentiate themselves from one another? Why can't Star Wars dare to do things like this in its massive universe? And that's what I really hope we'll eventually get to see, and that's what you do get to see in Dune, however. So I found myself really kind of awe-inspired by all of the shots, by just how naturally everything was woven in. And there's clearly so much lore under the surface from the books that they obviously can't go too far into here, but it is all there, which was clear even to me as someone who's not familiar with all of that lore and the story. I don't know if part 2 will happen. I hope it does. I'll be there for it, not for the story, but for the cast, for the amazing visuals, and the immersive experience that Dune offers. So I highly recommend it. Of course, see it in a theater. It is not worth it to watch on HBO Max. I mean, before I even switch it on my TV, I might just head back to the theater, because you don't get the reverberation of the ships taking off, or the fear of the desert storms, or the scope of each huge room they're in if you watch it on any TV. So highly recommend seeing Dune in theaters, of course. And it's a slow burn, but that's a good thing. It's a world building film, and it really does still do a lot to keep you engaged. And I mean, the director has been passionate about this story and this book series since several decades ago, and that passion really shines through, not just from him, but from, of course, the cast and the whole production crew. So I really wanted to talk about this one because Dune is a very different experience that you will not really find elsewhere this year or next year, I think. And it's it's an experience. So make sure you check it out. And now let's go back to the Lego. So yeah, I finally did it. I completed the work on the Mandalorian Season 2 custom minifigure. Well, I shouldn't say showcase because the video doesn't exist yet, but the project, all of the custom minifigures that I wanted to make to celebrate the amazing second season of The Mandalorian. And there was just so much work put into all of these figures over the course of the year, and I'm kind of keeping Ahsoka, Boba, and Mando V2 further in the background because I do want to save a few little things for the final video. But of course, if you want to see those figures in their finished states with all of the extra accessories and high detail that I added, that's always available earlier over on the Patreon page already. I just finished up pretty much a big iPhone photo shoot with all of these, recreating so many moments right here on the desk before I get to do it over time in Photoshop. And I am just so proud of all of these figures and the work that was done to pull this off. None of it was really easy. None of it was smooth sailing. There were some challenges, and I really endeavored to make sure that I got this right, because this was my chance to celebrate, again, the series that brought two of my favorite characters ever to live action for the first time, Ahsoka Tano and bo-katan, and then shortly thereafter, Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker. I mean, I cannot believe how much time has passed since I began this project. And originally it was just going to be Ahsoka, bo-katan, Boba, and Luke. But then I really wanted to make a couple half customs to support bo-katan, and I'm really glad I did, because they do look great next to her, as was the intended purpose for making those half customs that do have some intentional inaccuracies, which is okay. But then I also did the Dark Troopers, custom painted those resin prints from Tristan, the custom brick builder, who isn't actually in the community anymore, and just so many hours, so many mistakes made, and so much learned throughout this process. It has been amazing and incredible, and I don't know when I can film the video. We've also got Moff Gideon from Phoenix Customs and Lego's Fennec Shand as supporting minifigures, so they look really great, especially Fennec now that I kind of repainted her helmet. But yeah, so it is quite a relief now to be done with this project. I am really happy all of the custom minifigures are finished, and of course there's more that I wish I could have done. Like, you know, making a new jetpack for actually just redoing the torso on my Mandalorian, you know, my Din Djarin, instead of just the helmet, and adding the Beskar spear. A custom that I'm still really proud of, that I wish I had time to sort of make a bigger change to. Or of course I would have loved to make full customs for Fennec or Moff Gideon, Cobb Vanth especially, who will also who I probably should have had in this final shot as a half custom, because I do have sort of a makeshift version of him on my shelf out there that you guys might have remember I posted a video on like early in, I want to say, just maybe it was December of last year actually. But yeah, I am looking forward to putting together the video, just kind of figuring out how I want it to look, what I want to say, what the skits are going to be, and that sort of thing, and also a monitor, because like I established in the last vlog, my iMac that I usually have used for backgrounds in the last year has died out on me. So I'm still looking to get a new monitor, and you guys have been great showing me some different options. So I am looking into those, and will make the decision now that I am done with this project and I can devote my attention to shopping around properly for the monitor. Like I kind of mentioned a little while ago, there is one last thing I want to show you guys before we end off the vlog, and that is this amazing new printed Venom by Benson Bone. Of course, one of the best customizers in this community, and he was kind enough to send over a full printed resin set of his new Venom design. And I mean, I am, first of all, just so grateful, but secondly, so excited, because now Ashton has basically given me the tools to make a much better Venom 2.0. Now, spoilers for a recent movie, I highly recommend you click away from this video if you have not seen Venom Let There Be Carnage, but for obvious reasons, at the end of that movie, I will be making a new Venom, and I am very excited to add him to a certain showcase. And now, like I said, Ashton has given me the tools to do so with these incredible pieces. Obviously, there is a lot to be done here, and I'm so excited about it. So looking forward to working with these elements. I mean, it's so impressive what Ashton is able to achieve with these parts. And I mean, he even included a smaller Venom head over here, which is really cool. I mean, to develop like a tentacle head as well. And what's really cool is the accessories with the head and the jaw are actually attached via magnets, and there are slots as part of his design to install other parts of the jaw with magnets. And I mean, there's just so much potential here. I'm really hoping I get this right, and I am just, again, really excited. I have my 2018 custom Venom over here as well, just to kind of show you the scale and how similar it is. I'm pretty sure he said he used the same scale pretty much, though obviously my 2018 Venom needed a little bit more sculpting work. And while I like my 2018 Venom, I am very much looking forward to taking a second crack at it. Thank you again to Benson Bone. I'll drop a link to his Instagram down in the description below. And thank you guys again for watching the whole vlog. I know this one was a little bit long-winded with the whole Dune review and me just talking a little bit more and not showing too much of the Mando customs at the moment. But again, that whole photo shoot that I did already is up on the Patreon, and I'll be posting some really cool edits over on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you guys want to follow over there. But yeah, so I thought Benson Bone's Venom would have been a cool thing to include there at the end of the vlog for you, and I'm looking forward to working with it. A lot of customizers have had the chance to do so already, and so there is a lot of inspiration to be had. I'll see you guys next time for whatever the next vlog will hold. Hopefully it won't have to be delayed or anything while I work on the Mandalorian Season 2 showcase. It might happen though, because that's typically what happens. I usually don't find the time to do the weekly vlog when I'm neck deep in a showcase video, so we'll see how it goes. But thank you again for watching and for being so patient with me throughout an otherwise really strange year that has flown by. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 is 3 years old today. That's crazy. Take care, everybody, and this is the way.